What's going to happen here tonight?
We're going to hopefully elect myself and the House Majority Leader, Chris Blazejewski, and we're going to celebrate. And that's going to be it.
That's all the big stuff happening
That's
tonight.
the only two things that are on the ballot, so to speak.
Right, and there'll be more stuff, announcements down the road about.
Yeah, I'm going to sit down. There's a lot of interest. I think that's a good, healthy
totally.
interest, and I think the important thing is that we all sit down and we talk about it. And I really feel I owe each and every member who's expressed an interest to be part of leadership, to sit down and talk to them individually, and I help them understand what their expectations are, what my expectations are, and I think I want to talk to them and be very fair to them. I don't want to just pick names out of a hat and just announce them in one day.
And can I ask, as far as leadership goes, are there open seats at like the committee chairs? Is that the idea?
Absolutely. I think everything's open, but I think by and large we have a very good group of people.
Yeah.
The House ran very well. We had a very productive 2 years, and I look forward to another good 2 years.
I call this meeting to order and I declare there is a quorum. Right, Captain? The order of the business for this meeting tonight is to elect the speaker and the leader for the 23 and 24 sessions. I cannot be more honored to lead in this meeting tonight. I would like to call on Majority Whip Catherine Cascarian to offer a nomination for a speaker and leader. Thank you, Catherine.
All right, to everyone in this room who put themselves out there, ran for office, worked hard, and won, to my colleagues and more importantly, my friends, congratulations and welcome. Tonight, I am most honored, excited to nominate two of my very, very favorite people, Joe Shekarchi and Chris Blazejewski, to serve as our House leadership team in the upcoming session. 2 years ago, I was thrilled to stand before you and nominate Joe Shekarchi and Chris Blazejewski to serve as our House Speaker and House Leader for the very first time. I talked a lot about our vision and our chamber, and I was grateful to have the opportunity to tell you all just how well qualified and special these two people are. During the last session, I watched them live up to that vision and more. I watched them work tirelessly to build consensus in our chamber, to pass policy that would improve the lives of all Rhode Islander, and treat everyone, no matter their rank, title, party affiliation, with kindness and respect. In 2 years' time, it has become clear, and I think the voters also said it pretty resoundingly, that we are moving in a very, very good direction. Tonight, I am just as grateful and just as honored as I was 2 years ago to nominate them both for re-election. For the position of House Majority Leader, I am so proud to nominate my friend and mentor, Chris Blazejewski. Since the very first day that I met Chris 10 years ago, Chris has consistently been one of the hardest public servants that I know, both inside and outside the chamber. Chris is the first person we all call when we need help working through a bill. He is our champion, he is our sounding board, he is our problem solver, he is also a true friend to all of us. And just one of my favorite things about Chris as our leader really has been watching him when we have our huddles before we go out and we fight for our bills. And watching Chris teach us all how to debate, he is truly the master. If it was art, Chris would be Rembrandt, and he teaches all of us how to do it, and it's just so special. For the position of House Speaker, I can think of no one better suited to lead our team than my 2012 classmate and very dear friend, Joe Shekarchi. Over his entire tenure in the House, since the very first day I met him, Joe Shekarchi has shown unrelenting dedication. Dedication to his constituents, dedication to our state, and most importantly, dedication to each and every one of us that serve in that chamber. As Speaker, Joe Shekarchi has flourished. 2 years ago, I told you all about his ability to successfully face tough challenges with strength, calm, and determination. And in his first term as Speaker, Joe did just that. On countless issues and bills, Joe Shekarchi steered us through the storm and got things done. And again, one of my favorite things about Joe, I remember last session being very nervous about the Act on Climate bill, and I remember the Speaker looking at me and he's like, "Why are you nervous?" "I'm not nervous. Stay calm, we're gonna do this." And it's that calm, quiet determination that he has that has led us through getting so many policies passed. In addition to helping us pass major pieces of legislation on a range of issues, I have watched how Speaker Shekarchi and Leader Blazejewski have changed the entire tenor and demeanor of our room for the better. Through their intelligence, their devotion, their kindness, their guidance, they have inspired all of us to be the best legislators that we can be. Watching our chamber transform into the positive, productive environment it has become, watching all of you work freely with each other, learn from each other, find your passions, working on legislation, it has really been a light in the dark world that is politics in 2002, or 2022. With that, I ask that you please join me in showing your support for both Joe Shekarchi and Chris Blazejewski as our House leadership team. Thank you.
Thank you, Whip Kasarian. I believe all of us agree with everything you said tonight, so thank you. I would like now to call on House Judiciary Committee Chairman Robert Craven to offer a second remark.
I'll start with some humor. Somebody said to me during the campaign that did we pick Mr. Shekarchi and Mr. Blazejewski because they were the two names that were the hardest to pronounce. I'm proud to offer the seconding remarks for Joe Shekarchi and Chris Blazejewski. I stood in this building a couple of years ago, having competed for the job and having created an alliance with both Joe and Chris to say that the most important thing in this room, the most important thing in the House is to act in unison with each other, and that Democrats go forward as a team. Well, I talked about that, but in the last 2 years, that's exactly what happened, and I want to thank both of you guys for doing that. Chris and Joe are now in a position to continue their outstanding work as our Speaker and Majority Leader, respectively. Under the steady hands and strong leadership of Joe and Chris, they brought the House of Representatives into a new realm of inclusiveness and cooperation was badly needed. Joe's a listener, a great listener, and a remarkable consensus builder. He's a kind and respectful gentleman who brought a new leadership style and an energy, a quiet energy, but never an ever-present energy to the chamber. We have been friends, he and I, for many years. We were both part of the class 10 years ago, but I've known Joe as a lawyer for over 30 years. Chris quickly became an excellent majority leader. He's a thoughtful, insightful, and truly cares about the legislation that is so important to our state. Chris always studies the issues and brought forth reasoned and intelligent arguments to the House floor. Joe and Chris brought out the best in all of us. They took the time to tutor the new members and made them feel comfortable, and they were open and understanding of the unique and very different perspectives of all the men and women of the House of Representatives. The 10 freshmen that I hope are all here today, you can be confident that Joe and Chris will do the same for you. Joe and Chris made certain that more members were included in the decision-making process in the last 2 years. They are proud to stand for their convictions. 2 years in a row, they joined me as chairman and the members of the Judiciary Committee to act as ex officio members to vote common sense gun safety legislation and made certain that it became able to come to the floor for a vote, and it was successful. That was just one of many issues that they showed tremendous leadership and stood up to be counted. From championing legislation dealing with overdue pay equity to climate change, from voting reforms to significant tax relief, they brought us together to enact meaningful policies and did it through a pandemic. Their terrific 2 years deserve your strong and I believe confident vote that they will continue and only get better. Please join me in supporting both of the members of this leadership team, Joe Shekarchi and Chris Blazejewski.
Thank you, Chairman Craven. I ask for a motion to close the nomination.
Motion?
I ask for second.
Second.
I now ask for a vote to close the nomination.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I will now ask for accept a proxy vote. Asking to accept proxy votes. Motion? Yes. A motion, thank you. I ask for a second.
Second.
Thank you. I declare that proxy votes are accepted. All in favor?
Aye.
No, nobody opposed, right? I will now call the roll and mention proxy vote, that we have received. You can signify your support for Joe Shekarchi and Chris Blazejewski team simply by saying Joe. That way you do both at the same time. Now I will start and call every one of the members. And the first one, because the alphabetic order, is Red Marvin Agnew. Joe. Red Mia Ackerman.
Joe.
Edie Agello. I received a proxy for Edie Agello. Red Karen Alstate.
Joe.
Red Samuel Asinaro.
Joe.
Red Jacqueline Blazejewski. I'm sorry, I say it wrong. Blazejewski, right?
Yeah.
I received a proxy from our Jacqueline, our friend, she's not here tonight. Red Jose Batista. David Bennett, Red David Bennett.
Joe.
Thank you. Red Nathan Villa.
Joe.
Red Christopher Blazejewski.
Joe.
And Red-elect Jennifer Boylan.
Joe.
Thank you. Red Justin Caldwell. Red Edward Caldwell. I have a proxy for him. Thank you, Larry. Red Lauren Carson. Red Stephen Casey.
Yes. Joe.
Red Julie Casimiro.
Joe.
Red Terry Corbin.
Joe.
Red Arthur Corbasi.
Joe.
Thank you, Arthur. Red Gregory Constantino. Red elect Megan Porter.
Joe.
Thank you. Red Robert Craven.
Joe.
Red elect Sherry Cruz. And it's funny, Cruz. It's Cruz. Yeah. Red elect Matthew Darson.
Joe.
Red elect Anthony DeSimone.
Joe.
Red Grace Diaz. Joe. Red Susan Donovan. Susan, what are you causing? It's not here. Red J. Edwards.
Joe.
Red Leonela Feliz.
Joe.
Red Deborah Felela.
Joe.
Red elect Alex Finkerman.
Joe.
Red Catherine Fogarty.
Joe.
Rep. Joshua Girardo.
Joe.
Rep. Arthur Handy. I have a proxy. Thank you, Larry. Rep. Brianna Harris. Rep. Raymond Hall. Joseph. Rep. Catherine Catharian.
Joe.
Rep. Brian Kennedy.
Joe and Chris.
Rep. Rebecca Kislak. Rep. Jason Knight. Rep. Chailene Lima, and we have a proxy from her. Rep. John Lombardi. Rep. Alex Marsosowski. Took me 2 years to learn. Rep. Carol McEntee.
Joe and Chris.
Rep. Michelle Magoo.
Joe.
Rep. Joseph McNamara.
Joe and Chris.
Rep. Mary Messier.
Joe.
Rep. David Morales.
Steve.
Rep. Thomas Norette. I have a proxy from Thomas. Rep. William O'Brien.
Joe.
Rep. Ramon Perez.
Shekarchi.
Oh, and Chris.
Shekarchi. I'm only voting for the speaker. So, my vote is for the speaker.
Okay. Rep. Robert Phillips. Robert Bob Phillips.
Joe.
Thank you. Rep. Brandon Porter.
Joe.
Rep-elect Enrique Sanchez.
I abstain.
Rep. Patricia Serpa.
Joe.
Rep. Marianne Charles Smith.
Joe.
Rep. Evan Shanley, and we have a proxy from him. Rep. Joseph Shekarchi.
Joe.
Rep. Scott Slater.
Joe.
Rep. Joseph Solomon.
Joe and Chris.
Thank you. Rep. June Speakman. We have a proxy from her. Rep-elect Tina Spears.
Joe.
Rep-elect Jennifer Stewart.
Abstain.
Rep. Teresa Tansey.
Joe.
Rep. Camila Bella Wilkinson.
Joe and Chris, and I salute you.
Rep-elect Brandon Bowes.
Joe.
And Susan Donovan, and just arrived. Susan, you vote?
Yes. Joe and Chris.
Thank you so much. I would like to announce the final tally right now. The final tally is 61 for Joe and Chris, 3 abstain, and few of the members also are in the way to come in here tonight. So, congratulations, Mr. Speaker. And congratulations, Mr.
Please sit down. Thank you, thank you. We're going to bring out some more chairs. We're going to restructure the room after, but thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm speaking on behalf of the meeting. We are overjoyed with the vote of confidence. I can't tell you enough how proud I am to lead this august body. And I look around this room of unbelievably talented, dedicated public servants who want to do good for their community. So I'm proud to be the speaker, and I appreciate the vote very much. I want to thank every member of the caucus for the overwhelming support. It means the world to me. I certainly want to thank Rick Kazarian for that very inspiring speech, the terrific job that she does on the floor, and Bob Craven, Chairman Craven, my friend of 30 some odd years, and who does a tremendous job leading judiciary. Bob, thank you for the kind words. I look back these past 2 years, and I can't help but think about how far we came. Literally, we were here 2 years ago, we were in the ballroom, we were separated 6 feet apart, We could not meet because of social distancing. It was classified as a business meeting, and we could only have a glass of water. We couldn't even have alcohol or food because of the restrictions at the time. We moved to, that caucus was incredible. We moved to the vets, Herculean effort, right? Talented staff to logistically move over. Didn't have internet. They did it in 45 days in the middle of the pandemic. And we conducted the people's business in person and remotely with committee hearings. And we were not trained or prepared for that, but we got it done. And we carried out the business. And the work product that came out of the last 2 years, I'm exceptionally proud of. It's an achievement to all of you, and I thank you for that. So the wonders of science and medical advancements, in 2 years, we're able to sit here and break bread. Despite these challenges we collectively faced, we still came together and delivered our values, the democratic values, to the people of Rhode Island. The results of the election 2 nights ago prove that Rhode Islanders share our goals and values. All but one Democrat member was re-elected in a most resounding fashion. We enlarged our caucus to 66 out of 75 House members. We developed an agenda, yes, developed an agenda that was tremendously well received by the voters. In fact, Governor McKee ran for re-election in a large part to the achievements of the General Assembly. Edie Angelo's not here, but I would get calls from Edie. We did that. The House did that. I got calls from several members of the House. The governor benefited from the great legislation that he signed that the General Assembly passed. I was proud to run for re-election on a slogan that said, bringing people together to get good things done. That's what we did, and that's what we will continue to do. I'm proud of that achievement, and I look forward to working with you all.
We're proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. I'm telling the leader, who was listening to this, I had the historian, the librarian, unofficial historian for the state. In modern times, and they're still researching it, no speaker has faced a primary in a general election. So I have the pleasure of being the first, but I was inspired by all of you, and I worked hard, and I wanted to set an example. And I know that many of you went out and worked hard, and that's why you came back. Because the voters listened to what was said, and I appreciate that immensely. 2 years ago, Chris and I pledged to be a member-driven body. I think a significant record of achievement shows we achieved those results. We collectively came together and provided tax relief to working families, seniors, veterans, small business, landmark legislation on climate and protecting our environment, a comprehensive package, a difficult package for housing. We're going to continue to make those investments and fight for affordable housing for the state. Historic investments were also made through the budget process for housing, healthcare, childcare, job training, COVID relief, and education. Voting reforms and improvements in government and transparency, and so much more. And we intend to keep the momentum rolling. We will soon embark on a formulating agenda for the session that begins on January 3rd. Chris and I welcome your suggestions and priorities. We have a tremendous amount of talent in this room, and we are confident that with our collective collaboration, we will continue to deliver for all Rhode Islanders. I am also tremendously impressed by the talent and enthusiasm of the freshman class of 10 new members. I welcome you all here tonight, and I look forward to working closely with you. I'd like to take a moment and introduce each member of the class and give a little bit of a biography of them. Before I do that, I want to tell you very sincerely and very happily and joyfully, the Board of Elections updated 2 rep races tonight, and I will declare Megan Carter the winner. my fellow Warwick legislator, Chairwoman Camille Bella-Lupins. In spite of what you may read on social media, I did not harvest any votes for her. The election was not rigged, and Shekarchi Village, which I never heard of before, was not the home for some secret stash of votes. If they were, I would use them for myself, trust me. I want to recognize and talk about freshmen. I'll do so alphabetically. I'll ask them to stand. I'm going to start with Jen Bow. I'm going to start alphabetically. Jen, please stand. Thank you. I want people to know who you are. I know who you are. Jen represents Barrington and Riverside, in the Riverside area of East Providence. She grew up in upstate New York and lived in Washington, D.C. and Boston before moving to Barrington with her husband and 2 sons. Jennifer has worked as an environmental scientist, a litigation consultant, and in small business. For the past decade, she has served as the leader of the Rhode Island chapter of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense. Jen, welcome to the House. Megan Carter, please stand, Representative Black. Megan Carter represents the communities of Richmond, Hopkinton, and Exeter. Megan's race shows each of us how much every vote really does matter. She currently is leading by a significant margin, and I'm declaring victory tonight. We are optimistic that she will be in the House. Megan will have a knack for turning personal experience, personal experiences into advocacy to help Rhode Islanders. Megan lives in Exeter with her husband and their 3 children and works in the seafood wholesale industry. Welcome to the House, Megan. Sherry Cruz, please stand. I want you all to look at Sherry Cruz because every time I see her, she has a smile. She has a smile on her face, and I admire that. And I've seen her many times, and I appreciate her help. Sherry represents Pawtucket's Fairlawn and Woodland neighborhoods. The Providence Journal recently wrote a front-page story about her tremendous obstacles Sherry has overcome to the success she is today. She went from working in a cafeteria at Brown University to earning a bachelor's and master's degree at Brown. Now Sherry runs an early childhood development program through the Department of Health, and you can spot her by her perpetual smile on her face. Sherry, welcome to the House. Matt Dawson. Before I want to go to Matt's bio, I'll tell you that his many accomplishments, he owns a very nice drinking establishment that I'm sure we will visit at some point.
Free drink! Let's go!
Matt Dawson represents East Providence and is a 4th-generation townie. Matt was the prosecutor and rose through the ranks at the Rhode Island Attorney General's office for over 20 years. He currently is in private practice and specializing in litigation with the firm of Lynch & Pine, and he's president of the Rhode Island Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. He and his wife have 2 daughters. Matt, Anthony DeSimone. Anthony, let me first apologize to you because I called you John 3 or 5 times. And it's a form of endearment that I have for your family. Anthony DeSimone represents the Wampsquatuck section of Providence and is a lifelong resident of that neighborhood. He works at the Providence Water Department. Anthony is no stranger to politics. His father is the former House Majority Leader, John DeSimone, who held the same seat from the same district that Anthony recently won. His top issues are community policing, bringing autonomy back to the Providence schools, and Anthony is has a Labrador named Mia. Where's Alex? There he is. Alex Craven. Alex has to be the luckiest representative because as a freshman, he had no primary, no general. And that's a testament to his standing in his community. And I looked at that and I kept saying, why him? Knock on those doors in the bowels of war, July, August, September, and October. Alex Finkelman is the only member of the freshman class who didn't face a challenge in his election cycle. He will represent Jamestown and Middletown. A lifelong Rhode Islander, Alex is president of the Aegis Group, which specializes in insurance, consulting, and employee benefits. He has a strong background in small business and finance. He has pledged to work to improve education, bolster the economy, and protect the environment. Alex lives in Jamestown with his wife and 2 children. Alex, welcome to the House. Enrique Sanchez. Enrique, please stand. Enrique represents the West End neighborhood of Providence. As profiled on the front page of the Providence Journal, Enrique worked on a chicken farm to help his family pay their bills. His grandfather immigrated from Mexico to Rhode Island and opened Providence's first Mexican market. And today, members of Enrique's extended family operate several of the city's most popular Mexican restaurants. Enrique attended Community College of Rhode Island and Rhode Island College. He works as a substitute teacher in the Providence school system. Enrique, welcome to the House. Just as I said with Matt, we hope to patronize one of your fine establishments in the future. Let us know where they are. Tina Spears. A hurricane at the State House. I met Tina Spears several years ago when I was a majority leader and a speaker and what an advocate for the things that she believes in. She will represent Charleston, South Kingstown, Westerly, and Block Island. She has lived in Charlestown for almost 30 years. Tina met her future husband at the Charahoe Tech's agricultural program. She was the first in her family to attend college and earned 2 degrees from URI. Significant health challenges facing her oldest child inspired Tina to become the executive director of the Community Provider Network of Rhode Island, representing providers who support people with disabilities. She somehow teamed up with Julie Casimiro, and together they fought very hard for rate improvements, and we were happy to accomplish that goal in this year's budget. Tina, welcome to the House. Jennifer Stewart. Jennifer Stewart. Jennifer Stewart represents the fine city of Pawtucket, where she will join an all-female delegation. Reverend doesn't know what he's done himself into. She and her husband live with their 3 dogs. She is a history and political science teacher at Moses Brown and decided to run for office after a student suggested it to her. She also plays drums with a faculty rock band. Jennifer is a graduate of the University of Chicago, where she grew up and taught 6 months in Helsinki, Finland, with the support of the Fulbright Distinguished Award for Teachers. Jen, welcome to the House. Brandon Vos. Brandon, please stand. A true story. It happened an hour ago. True story. An hour ago, I called Brian Pearson, and I congratulated him on becoming the new Senate Majority Leader. And we chatted a little bit, and I got to know Brian and respect him. We don't always get along. As you know, the Senate sometimes likes to be involved in the House business, so we have to let them know that House business is the House business. So I tease him, we get along. So at the end of the conversation, he says, "You're gonna really like Brandon." I said, "I already like him." He says, "You know, if he ever gets in trouble, just call me." And I laughed, And he said, what do you mean? I said, it's the other way around. If you get in trouble, we're sending Brandon after you. Brandon is a lifelong Cumberland resident and represents Cumberland Central Falls. He's a graduate of the Community College of Rhode Island. He has built a career in the auto industry, currently serving as the parts manager for a Volkswagen dealership in Norwood, Massachusetts. Brandon ran a spirited campaign on a platform that includes improving our schools, supporting small business, and protecting the environment. Brandon, welcome to the House. Before I close, a couple of announcements so everyone understands where we are. The freshman orientation, this is obviously for the freshmen, will be December 6th. Just put that day aside. I know a lot of you have commitments, family and school and work, but that's a very important day. It's from an operational standpoint, and you'll get an email, a detailed email in the next week or two from Stacy Custom. But please keep that day free so you can be there. It's very important. Also, to all the members present today, we are going to return to a holiday party, which we didn't have the last 2 years due to COVID. This year will be Sunday, December 11th. And no, but you can bring some goodies. It will be at Harbor Lights Country Club in Norwood. It's Governor Wells Country Club. I do not have a time yet, so keep that 4 to 7 o'clock available. I don't know when, but again, you'll get an email with the invitation. I want to thank you all again for the confidence that you've given both Chris and myself this evening. We appreciate it. We never take any of it for granted. We pledge to work as hard the next 2 years as we continue to bring people together and get good things done. It is at this moment that I have the pleasure and honor of introducing my very good friend and my partner in the House, a man who I have unbelievable confidence in.
I need to get the vote for Jose Batista.
Okay?
Jose?
Would you like to vote?
I'm gonna vote for speaker.
What are the options again? Mr. Speaker, happy to offer you my support.
Thank you. And Leader Blazejewski too.
I will.
And as thank you, I'd like to bring up Chris if he wants to say a few words. I want to just tell you that as good as everything we've talked about and the accolades that Chairman Craven said, and I spoke about, and Katie Kazarian articulated as well, it doesn't happen without Chris. He is literally my right hand. Some days he's my right, left hand. And we've formed a very good friendship and a great working relationship. And I'm proud to call him my friend, Chris Blazejewski.
Speaker, thank you so much. And I just want to say that I think we all know that changing culture in an institution is not easy. And it takes leadership, and it takes buy-in from the team and from the members. And Speaker, you've really changed the culture up here. You made it an open place, you made it a place where people feel like they can speak their minds. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But we've done our best as a team to try to make this a member-driven chamber, to really open up the opportunities for members to really put in the bills that they want, work on the issues that they're experts on, and develop good policy for the state. So Speaker, thank you so much for the way you've changed our culture up here and made this an open place and a great place to serve. To thank all of you, because that only can happen by everyone having buy-in to making sure that we can make this a better chamber and a better state. And truly over the last 2 years we've worked together, so thank you all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Thank you for your confidence. It means so much to me. I know it means so much to the Speaker. So thank you very much. I look forward to a very bright 2 years. We'll continue to make Brown a better place to live, to work, to raise a family, to build a business, to do all the things that make life great. So I really want to thank you all for your support and for your confidence. I want to thank Whip Kazarian and Chair Craven for those speeches. So many times we're up in my office putting our heads together trying to get bills over the finish line. And the thing about the legislative process is it requires relationships and working with others. And you got to find a way to get 38 votes. Sometimes you got to find a way to get 50 votes. And we put our heads together to come up with the arguments and reach out to people to get people on board with the legislation we're trying to work on. So Katie, Bob, thank you so much for the speeches. And for the new members, I just want to say, I think we all remember our first race, and to put yourself out there, to really put yourself out there when you've never run before, it takes a Herculean effort. And you've done that, and you ran, and you won, and now you're up here and serving. And so I hope you enjoy this opportunity to shape public policy, to get to know one another, to get to know other parts of the state and other legislators and their interests and how they serve, what they're interested in doing. So I look forward to working with you. Our office is always open. We'll be reaching out to you to try to get a sense of your priorities. I'm sure the speaker and I will be having other meetings with members and chairs to talk about priorities. So finally, I know I'm the last thing standing in the way between us and dinner, so I will conclude with that. But once more, thank you all so much for your support and for your confidence. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. On behalf of the House Caucus, we look forward to work with both of you, Speaker and Leader. Thank you for the work done, and we're ready to continue to work with you. At this point, I declare that this caucus is adjourned. It's time for dinner, so thank you.
Go get my